What's good, everybody? I'm Brian.
And I'm Ashley.
Welcome back to another episode of the Killer Point of View podcast, where horror movies and true crime are one and the same. We have Joe here with us.
Hello.
And we have Jamie here with us.
Hey, guys.
Today's movie was picked by Joe, so he's hosting the episode today.
Thank you. We are going to be talking about the sci-fi horror film Pandorum, which came out in 2009. Jamie, you want to go ahead and give us the synopsis real quick?
All right. Two crew members wake up on an abandoned spacecraft with no idea who they are, how long they've been asleep, or what their mission is. The two soon discover they're actually not alone, and the reality of their situation is more horrifying than they could have imagined.
Good deal. So, this movie has a pretty decent cast. This has Dennis Quaid, who has been in Day After Tomorrow. What are a couple others he's been in? I'm drawing a blank right now.
I mean,
I had the list in front of me.
Stuff that comes to mind off the top of my head is what's the one movie that was kind of like 12? What was the name of the movie? Cheaper by the dozen. It's something similar.
Right.
To that.
Okay. Here's the list. I found it. A Dog's Purpose. The Parent Trap, 1998. So I mean, he's been acting for.
Wasn't he in Priest?
With
I think that's a action horror movie.
Paul Bettany.
Yeah. Wasn't he in that?
I don't know if he was. Not that I can recall.
No, I don't think so.
So, and then we have
he's been in a bunch of shit.
Yeah,
though.
He's been in a bunch.
He was in Parent Trap.
I just said that. I know.
Oh, did you? Oh, sorry. Sorry.
You're stealing my thunder, man.
Sorry. Go ahead. Sorry.
All right, and favorite actor Ben Foster. He's been in Hostels, Hostage,
Mechanic, 310 to Yuma.
310 to Yuma. He was in. He had a small role in X-Men: Last Stand. So I mean, So he's definitely in that. Oh, and Inferno. So he's been in quite a bit. And then we have. I'm gonna probably butcher this name. Antje Trau. She's a German actress. She was. I think she's more notable for Man of Steel.
Yes.
And then you have the great Norman Reedus, The Walking Dead. Everybody knows that. So,
Boondock Saints.
The Boondock Saints. Yeah, he was also he also had a small role in another sci-fi horror film called Mimic, which is on the list. So, and then oh boy, here we go with this name, Cam Gigagant. I think I butchered it.
I don't know how to say it either, so it's okay.
I think he's known for I believe he was in Twilight.
Yes, not Twilight. He was in Breaking Dawn. There's a difference. So
okay.
Oh my god,
I don't know.
It's the same thing.
I don't know. So anyway, and then there's Eddie Rouse.
He was in Twilight. He was in the first Twilight.
I mean,
wasn't he the one who
Yeah, you're right, because he did die in that one. I don't know why I'm thinking what. Did he come back? Was he like a ghost vampire?
This is your area of expertise.
Right?
I'm questioning my entire life right now. I don't remember. He was in one of those. You were probably right.
He was in the first one.
Anyway, okay, and I believe it's pronounced Kung Lee. So who played Man. So that's the cast, and let's go ahead and jump right into scene by scene. So it begins with a summary of a timeline of events showing how humanity over the span of 3 centuries suffers resource shortages resulting in overpopulation and thus launching of a settler vessel to a distant Earth-like planet called Tanis, which is when we jump into our the main character, who is Ben Foster, played by, I believe his name is Bauer in the movie. Mm-hmm. So he's a man who wakes up. He has no memory of who he is. Wakes up inside this hyper sleep tube alone in a dark room. And before we actually go any further, I wanted to ask you guys, overall, what's your opinion of sci-fi horror films? Do you like them, dislike them? We'll start with you, Ashley.
So it's not like my go-to, but if I'm in the mood for it, it's typically something that I enjoy to watch. So,
right. Do you have a favorite off the top of your head?
No, I should have thought of something, but I don't.
I should have had that put in the question, but I didn't think about it. What about you, Brian?
Oh, you want me to go second?
Okay, hold on. What about you, Jamie?
I am not a fan of sci-fi horror. I do not like sci-fi. It's like my least favorite like subgenre of horror.
Okay, so you didn't care for any of the Alien movies or none of that?
No.
Okay.
No, I just can't get into that kind of stuff. I don't know why, but
That's fair. I mean, there's
yeah.
how many subgenres? There's 8 right there, I think, on the board. So
You didn't like when Jason went to space?
oh my god.
No. No.
No, I hated that fucking movie.
Right.
I hated that movie.
I think I saw part of it, and I was like, okay, this is what garbage looks like up close.
Right.
Because the character belongs at Camp Crystal Lake.
Yeah, fair
Exactly.
enough.
That's
That atmosphere, the camping atmosphere, outdoors in the woods. Yeah.
Yeah.
I know a lot of people Jason Takes Manhattan and stuff like that. I haven't seen it in a really, really, really long time. But to me, the character is best at Camp Crystal Lake. That's the
Yeah.
I mean, that's the
That's
birth.
where he belongs.
Yeah, that's the birthplace of Friday the 13th to me. So
Yeah.
So, but after hold on, I lost my notes for a second. Anyway, so soon after Bauer wakes up, cleaning himself up, he notices there's power fluctuations throughout the ship, and discovers that he's on board what's called a ship called the Elysium, and this is where he witnesses the awakening of another crew member, Lieutenant Peyton, and they're both, despite their suffering from memory loss, they both remember their training, but not their mission, destination, and where they're going and everything, and why their fellow crew has not actually been there to welcome them when they wake up. Because I guess the crew works in rotations. So it's I think at some point in the movie they said it was over 100 years sleep rotation is what that's how long they knew their trip was going to be. Mm-hmm. So, but then Lieutenant Peyton has, once they realize they're trapped inside the sleep chamber, basically, because the door won't work and because of the power, Lieutenant Peyton has Bauer exit the room via a ventilation duct and crawl into the rest of the ship. And when Bauer gets outside of that room, he basically explores some of the halls of the ship and ends up. This is where he finds forgetting her name. Damn it! Hold on, her character's name, Nadia. Mm. So this is where he finds Nadia trying to break into some sort of room and ends up chasing her down. And she basically tries to jack his boots, because she probably is running around barefoot and everything.
yeah.
So, at this point, this is when he finally encounters one of the hostile, or some of the hostile life forms running around the halls. So, when you guys all first saw the life forms, and what was your opinion of their appearance? What did you think they were? Did you think they were alien invaders on board the ship, or did you think something else, Ashley?
I definitely thought aliens.
Right.
Because I figured that they were in space and somehow they, broke in there and just wanted to take over. But also, they were gross. And they kind of reminded me of those things from that movie, The Descent, just because they were slimy and nasty. So that's kind of what I thought of.
Right. What about you, Jamie?
Yeah, I just wrote down they were semi-human, but monster-like creatures. I really wasn't sure what they were.
Right,
because they kind of looked humanish, but not.
Right, but you weren't sure if they were just alien people who had boarded the ship, and that's why the ship was basically in up Schitt's Creek at that moment.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
All right. And what about you, Brian?
I thought they were once human and then something happened and they transformed into that.
So at this point, that's what you thought already?
Yeah.
That's what you thought?
I mean, I've seen a lot of movies.
Right,
so
okay.
I kind of thought, that's probably where it's going.
And I actually forgot to ask this question before I even dived in the movie. Who has seen this movie before first time? What about you, Ashley?
Oh, this is my first time watching it.
This is your first time? What about you, Jamie?
Yeah, first time for me.
And Brian, you've seen this
I think that's my second time.
Second time? All right, this is probably my 80th. I don't know. This is definitely a comfort movie for me. This is one I could put on and listen to. So,
okay.
But so anyway, after that, once Bauer, because during this moment when he was fighting with Nadia and running and hiding from the life forms. This is when he basically he's out of contact with Peyton over a radio. He ends up reestablishing contact, and that's when they kind of realize at this point where they're heading, because it's like their memory slowly just starts coming back to them in flashes. And this is when Bauer recalls this is when he kind of recalls the memories of his wife, kind of like a dream state almost. So, in my opinion, when I was watching this movie, and like I said, this is probably the 80th time I've seen it, I kind of just don't. I'm kind of having a hard time figuring out why that had to be put in the movie.
It's kind of pointless to me.
Yeah, that's so. I mean, it didn't make sense to me. What about you, Ashley?
Yeah, I mean, it just seemed kind of like a random fact that they tried to make relevant, but really wasn't. So,
right. And Brian, you just said pointless.
Yeah, it didn't. I didn't go anywhere to me.
Yeah, because I mean, we all find out that she's obviously not on board.
Yeah,
we find that out, but it's like I don't. You could have just did this. You could have left that out, and the movie would have worked.
Yeah, there's no point in her being there, other than when he opened up his locker, it said like in case of memory loss or here's something to remind you or something like that. But
right, and he had a photo, I think, of her in the locker.
Hey, yeah, they could have used something else.
Right. What about you, Jamie?
Yeah, definitely unnecessary because it didn't really go anywhere.
Right.
So,
and so it's actually at this point, the same point when and we find this out earlier in the movie when he's like getting dressed and everything. He notices his hands shaking a little bit, and this is when he asks Lieutenant Peyton about what's called orbital dysfunctional syndrome, ODS syndrome, also known as Pandorum, which is caused by extended sleep and space travel triggered by emotional stress. It leads to severe paranoia, delirium, and nosebleed. So, with Bauer taking note of his hand shaking and his recollection of Pandorum, do you think that he suspects him? Do you think he's like suffering from it? Do you think he's like in the early stages of it, or?
I think so.
Okay. About you, Ashley?
Yeah, I mean, I'd probably agree. He had me fucked up in the beginning when he was ripping his skin off. So, I knew something was wrong. So,
I mean, it was dead skin.
Yeah, well, that, or I mean, I don't. Maybe it was some sort of thing they applied on them. They sprayed it on before they put them in the sleep chambers.
I don't know. Either way.
Well, they were in water or something, right?
I was like, what is going on?
Like they were in some type of liquid.
Not that I remember. No.
Oh, like in that like container thing.
Right.
I thought they were in something. Maybe not.
No, I know when like the door, because you see this happen like 3 times in the movie. You see Bauer, you see Peyton, and then you see that poor schmuck in that fucking hunting ground area when all the creatures stab him and eat him. So it's like I didn't see any water.
There wasn't. Okay, yeah, that's right.
They're like kind of like dangled up inside there, so it's crazy. But and then hold on, lost my thing. All right, I'm sorry, Jamie. I don't even think I asked you. What did you think about the? Do you think he was suffering from Pandorum?
Yeah, I think he was. And then I think, like, I wrote down when he met the Leland guy who was telling him that whole story and history of the ship.
Right.
Because he talked about the 3-person crew that went crazy with the Pandorum. So I think at that point he probably, like, really realized that could be happening.
Right. And so after this, he kind of decides to get the courage to, save his wife because he thinks she's on board, and they both think that their wives are on board. So as a motivating factor, they know they have to save the ship, save their wives, save the crew and everybody, and get to their destination. And this is when he stumbles across Shepard, who's played by Norman Reedus. And long story short, he doesn't last long. No. He dies pretty quick. So he's a character. I mean, I'm trying to figure out why his character was even in the movie.
Yeah,
because I think he only had one useful thing to say, and that's like cover your body up in that oil because it hides a scent, which helps him, I think, down the road.
Yeah,
but it's like his character was
pointless.
Mm-hmm. So, shortly after Shepard's death, this is when Man, I keep mispronouncing his name, Man the farmer, who ends up witnessing a fight between him and Nadia jumps in. They all three end up fighting, and this is when Bauer convinces them that they all three have to work together in order to escape the hell that they're trapped in.
What kind of farmer was he? Like, where the fuck he learn how to do all that shit at? What farm do they teach that at? That's what I want to know.
Yeah, I'm not gonna say.
Okay.
Don't. Yeah. No. Never mind. I don't want to be stereotypical. It's like,
I mean,
don't they all know kung fu?
no, but
No. But clearly, he agriculture. He was a farmer, and I don't know. Maybe he learned it when he was young. Or, I mean, they all come from obviously different backgrounds. I mean, like Nadia is a German scientist, I think.
Yeah, that's true. And she was kicking ass also. So
Yeah, like that. Where she learned her shit from? That's
yeah,
because this was before Man of Steel, I think.
yes.
So, but after, sorry, I lost my notes for a second. Yeah. Anyway, so this is when Bauer convinces all three of them, or the two of them, that they all three have to work together in order to get out of there. And this is when. Sorry. I think this is when Lieutenant Peyton is, while he's trapped inside the room, this is when Corporal Gallo enters the scene. And he's all naked, covered in gunk, or whatever the hell that is, covered in shit from the looks of it. And this is when Gallo's basically, just telling him, I came from the bridge, but he's clearly just not acting well. He's, like, out of it. So what were your initial thoughts about Gallo? Did you guys suspect that he was some way involved with what was happening, or maybe was he just another, like, Norman Reedus' character? He was just caught up in the mess.
I mean, I don't think that he was like completely innocent, like how he was trying to make himself out to be. I didn't know what the fuck, he was up to, but I knew something wasn't right with him just by the way he was acting. And then once he had like brought him up into that room with him, like he was very skittish. So,
right.
Yeah.
What about you, Jamie?
Yeah, the same. Like, he just was acting kind of crazy and just kind of over the top. Like, I thought something was definitely weird about him.
Right. And what about you, Brian?
Yeah, the fact that he came out of nowhere and I mean, he just looked like he was guilty of something. So
he looked like he had probably been working a double at where we work.
Yeah, that's true.
So, but
that's true.
Yeah, because this movie, I mean, obviously initially from the first maybe quarter of the movie, you're thinking the villains are obviously these creatures. You don't probably suspect any of the other crew members being maybe a villain in the movie, did you?
Not until Gallo started freaking out on Peyton,
right?
Because Peyton had that whatever that gun was, he had that had the medicine.
Yeah, it was like a sedative or something like that.
And he was reaching for the wrench or something.
Right.
Like that's when I was like, that's when I started suspecting
that there was like more than just one group of villains. There was those who were just like obviously crazy, and then there was those who were just like crazy.
And then obviously Leland was trying to fucking Hannibal Lecter people and shit. So
he was hungry.
I mean,
hey, he was a cook. Okay, guys got to eat.
I guess so. Better do like the chick was and was eating grasshoppers and shit.
Oh no.
Yeah, that's actually. I think I left that question out of when I gave you guys the outlines. Could you eat bugs in order to survive, or would you rather starve?
No, I would rather starve. And look, like we've talked about before, when we've talked about like different zombie apocalypse, just kill me. I don't want to fight my way through this. My will to live is not that strong, and I don't. Just take me out.
What about you, Brian?
I mean, I think I would if I had to. It's not my first choice, but
especially if you had to eat spiders.
Oh my God.
They even had a little spider in here for you.
Yeah.
No, I would rather be forced to like chop my foot off or something. I'm not doing that.
Auto cannibalism, I think that's referred to as. You eat your own body. What about you, Jamie? Could you eat bugs to survive?
I don't think so, because I always think of like the show Survivor, and like that show. My husband watches it, Naked and Afraid, I think it is.
Oh, that show's still
I'm
on.
like, I could never be on those shows. So, like, I don't think I could.
Now, if we talk about some money.
Right.
I don't know. I don't even know if the money's worth it.
I don't know. I think I can eat a couple grasshoppers.
So,
I don't know.
I've actually eaten bugs before. I've eaten a grasshopper. So, and it's actually it was me and a friend of mine downstate. He actually was like, "Hey Joe, I can buy these grasshoppers online, these dead grasshoppers, and they're actually a delicacy. I can have them shipped over here. We can actually eat them." I was like, "Okay, sure."
No, you can get like crickets covered in chocolate.
Yeah,
I remember we went on a field trip somewhere, and they were selling them. I was like, "Is this a joke?"
Right? Yeah, we got ones that was, I think they were like garlic grasshoppers. I was like, "Oh, this ain't bad."
I thought you meant like you just went in the backyard and found grasshoppers. No. I was like, "All right."
I like how you did that.
Did what?
How you incorporated chocolate in this episode.
Oh,
that was not even on purpose.
Sneaky.
That was not even on purpose.
Sorry, guys. It's an inside joke.
Right. All right. And so and my next question would be sorry, okay, there it is. So after Bauer convinces the two of them that they all three have to work together, it's kind of a silly question, but under extreme circumstances, I would assume, as the film displays, could you actually work with someone who was just kicking your ass a moment ago?
Ashley.
I mean, if I really had to, if it was a serious thing.
But she tried stealing your shoes and everything.
I mean, she's distressed. She just really wanted some shoes. I don't know.
I'd be like, bitch, no, I ain't working with you.
If maybe, I don't know. Maybe.
What about you, Jamie?
Yeah, if it was necessary to survive and I thought they could really help me, then I think I would.
Gotcha. Brian?
Probably not.
Look,
You'd be like, no.
If he's going to be doing the ass kicking.
Yeah.
No one's kicking his ass.
Yeah.
No one's taking your shoes. Remember, you already told us you didn't allow anyone to take your shoes.
Right. So this situation would have went way different if she tried taking his shoes. She would have showed up with a knife, and he would have been like, "No, bitch, whack."
No, that's not what would have happened at all. No. I wouldn't be in this situation. I don't like flying on airplanes. I'm not getting on a fucking spaceship.
I'm happy you actually brought that up because that brings me to the next question. So, presuming everything went well, like the shit that happened in this movie didn't happen, could you volunteer to travel to a distant world knowing it was a one-way ticket? You basically were going to be a settler on a new planet?
No, I don't want to be your experiment.
Well, what if the world was ending?
The world was going to shit pretty much in a handbasket at that point. Food and water were in short supply. It's like, this is your ticket out.
I mean, maybe if I didn't have a choice, yeah, if the world was ending and they were like, here's a ticket to this fucking spaceship, then I would maybe get on it, yeah. But I was kind of interested to see how they were going to live on this planet at the end, and it didn't show me, so.
Right.
Disappointment.
What about you, Jamie?
Well, I said no because I just don't have any desire to do that. But if you're saying I guess the world's ending and everything, and you kind of wouldn't have a choice, right?
Right.
Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, pretty much.
So, yeah.
So, but even
I guess if the world was ending and I could take my family with me, then maybe. Right. But
I mean, even in reality, even if the world wasn't ending, like today, Elon Musk is like, hey, I need settlers for Mars. Who wants to go?
Hard pass.
Yeah.
No, Brian, it's just he's just shaking his head like, no.
No, I'm not doing that. Why the fuck do I need to go to Mars?
Maybe it pays good. They need aviation mechanics.
That's not me.
You get to take your flap crew and everybody with you.
Y'all have fun. That's not me. There's nothing on Mars that I need to see at all. Look, Interstellar fucked me up. I don't want to go into space at all.
I remember after you watched that movie, you were like...
No, that movie scared the fuck out of me.
Yeah.
It really scared the fuck out of me. Because my mind works like that, and I think a lot of that shit is real. So
we got to do that movie on Patreon because I really want to hear what's going on in that head of yours.
I also haven't seen the movie, so...
Oh.
Yeah.
You wouldn't like it. It's long as fuck.
Yeah, it is long.
Pause. It's really long.
Pause.
No, it's a long movie though. But it's really good. But
Are we talking like 3 hours long or like 6 hours?
I think it's
long?
like
it's not fucking 6 hours.
I think it's like
Well, you're making it sound like
No,
it's like a
really
marathon.
long.
I think it's like
Okay.
just under 3.
But you and Jamie talk about not liking 2-hour movies.
No, and I
This
stand
movie
I
is
stand by
long.
that. But like I'm talking
Yeah.
about, I've seen how many of the damn fucking superhero movies that are all 3 hours long. So
That's different.
Right.
I will look though.
Okay, well, moving on while you're looking that up. So after managing to escape the hunting grounds, the trio come across a cook named Leland, who has perhaps been awake a lot longer than they have. And this is where he tells them the story of what was going and what's happened on board the ship and anything. So, and to kind of backtrack a little bit, what point did you guys suspect that something may be off about Lieutenant Peyton?
that's a good question. I don't know, because everybody was kind of acting odd, and then they had all their memory issues, and I don't know. It definitely wasn't until quite a bit into the movie.
At what point do you think it was? Because there is a scene I think it's after Leland's telling the story about what happened to the ship and everything. I think there's a scene where Lieutenant Peyton is sitting there and his hands are shaking and he's looking at him crazy.
I remember that. And I mean, I guess that would probably be the point where it's like, okay, is this Pandorum, setting in on him? Is something already wrong with him prior to this? So,
right.
yeah, probably about that point.
Yeah, because I think after Gallo tells him that Earth is gone, that's when Peyton kind of he starts to slip, it looks like. Mm-hmm. He starts to slip off the deep end.
Yeah.
So, what about you, Jamie?
Yeah, I wrote down when Gallo showed up. I thought that's when, Peyton started to act weird. Like, they both just acted weird.
Oh, yeah,
So
Gallo,
like,
for
okay.
sure.
Yeah. So I'm like, is one of these a bad guy? Or are they both bad guys?
Right.
So.
Brian, what about you?
It was a little bit before he showed up. I think Peyton started to have like a nosebleed or something for no reason at all. And that was a sign. That was a sign to me that something was wrong.
Yeah, that was
with him.
That was a sign that Pandorum definitely was kicking in.
And I think that was before they even mentioned what Pandorum was and all that stuff.
I don't remember.
If I'm not mistaken. Like, I think that was before Leland had told the story of everything.
Right.
I think that's what it was, but
I'd have to. I don't remember that. I don't remember when he had a nosebleed. I think he did though at some point. So, but so this is when they convinced Leland to let them go before he eats them. Says, hey, we have to get to the reactor, try to save the ship. We're all going to die if we don't. And so all 4 of these guys team up, go down there, and this is, I guess, it's the warmest part of the ship because that's where apparently all the hunters sleep. So. And this is when we see Bauer like cover himself in cloth or whatever, like nasty ass cloth, used laundry, I think.
Something.
And he has to like crawl around while they're all sleeping. Mm-hmm. So, and restarts the reactor, and that's pretty much when it becomes a race to get to the bridge and everything.
also, Interstellar is 2 hours and 49 minutes long.
Damn.
Yeah, that is a long movie. I mean,
It's a really good
I could
movie.
watch
though.
like half and take a break and then watch the other half.
It's a really good movie though. But like they go to this planet where every hour is like 10 years.
What?
Okay, so
They go through a black hole.
no. They go through that. It's called a wormhole.
Okay.
But anyway, the black hole thing, you're right about the black hole because apparently the planets they have to go visit are one of them because it's so close to a black hole. A black hole, I guess, theoretically, and I may be wrong about this, time slows down on black hole and near a black hole. Or no, it speeds up.
It's something.
Yeah,
like that.
it's a mind fuck. But because when they land on the planet, it's like what is it? Like
every hour is 10 years.
Yeah.
On Earth.
Yeah.
So something happened where their ship got fucked up and they were there for a couple of hours. And by the time they got back to the ship, so much time had passed.
Right.
And
yeah, there was like one crew member that stayed on board the main ship. And when they came back, he had aged a little bit. Mm-hmm. And then they got to, Matthew McConaughey's character gets to sit down and watch all the video emails, lack of a better word, from Earth. And he sees his son and his daughter all growing up and everything. It's just like...
Well, that's fucking wild.
Yeah, it was a good movie. Anyway, sorry. Drifted off there. So this is when Leland manages to make it to the hypersleep chambers, which is actually, let me rewind again a little bit. While Leland's heading to the chamber, this is when Gallo and Peyton have their little fight, and it's when they actually end up like combining to the same person. That's when you realize they were both the same person. Did you guys suspect that at all?
No, I'm terrible at picking up on things like that, so not at all.
Well, what about you, Jamie?
No, definitely not.
Okay.
To me, when Gallo was when he was in that like chamber thing and he was bleeding from the nose, I kind of thought maybe those two were the same person somehow. I didn't know how, but I thought maybe they were the same person. So
gotcha. And so that's when right when basically Gallo, who is Lieutenant Peyton and Gallo, his real name is Gallo, obviously, he gives himself that injection. That's when Leland shows up, and then he pretty much sticks the needle in Leland's eye.
yeah.
And this is when I forgot his name, Man, the farmer. This is when he gets killed fighting one of the creatures. Or he fights one of the creatures, and then the child, I guess, creature kills him, gets his throat cut. What?
No,
you're shaking your head. You're just like, damn it.
Yeah, because he shouldn't have died. He fucking listened to the girl who said it's only a child or whatever. That's not no fucking child.
No, that's not.
It may have been a child at one point, but it ain't anymore.
Fucking baby monster killed that fucking thing.
Right. So
he looked like Jason before he grew up.
Yikes.
I'm just saying, a little ugly motherfucker. But okay.
Damn, dude.
It's a creature, it's a monster, it's not real.
Okay. Anyway. So this is when we get to the final scene. They're on the bridge. They find Gallo there. This is when Bauer remembers his who Peyton really is, who Gallo is, and basically they find out that they've been on the ship, the ship crashed like whenever the hell it arrived. It's been underwater for like over 900 years,
which is crazy.
Yeah, that's fucking insane. Tell you what, that ship was built to last, though.
Yeah.
So, but sure. So this is when they have their fight. Fast forward, ship the window or whatever gets damaged, ends up flooding the ship. Everybody's evacuated, and those who survive are now on the planet called Tanis, which it says at the end it's like year one population, like I think it's over 1,000, which is
like 2,000, 2,100, something like that.
Yeah. So, and that is where the credits roll.
If the planet was like that, I might go.
With a beach and waterfall and
yeah, like a Jamaican vibe. Yeah. I might take that trip. Maybe.
So, one question. Who was your favorite character and who was your least favorite character, Ashley? If you have one.
I mean, I think I'd have to go with Bauer being my favorite. I feel like somebody's going to come for me at some point. Since I just talked about how I hated John Travolta, I'm not a big fan of Dennis Quaid, so I'll probably have to go with his character.
As least favorite?
Yeah, okay. I mean, he was okay.
Why are
in
you
the
not
beginning.
A fan of?
It's just.
Why are you hating old people?
I don't hate old people. I'm not prejudiced against old people. I like him in The Parent Trap. That was a fantastic movie. But like I couldn't name 5 other things that he's been in, and it's just like he's nothing special to me is the point. It's not that I dislike him. I just I'm not like, oh my god, Dennis Quaid. So I probably have to go with him or the little fucking monster child that they should have yeeted right when they first found it. So.
Can you please stop saying yeet?
Okay, so
first of all, I didn't say it like that.
Okay, so chocolate, yeet. What was the other word? Daddy.
I'm not allowed to say chocolate or daddy.
Gaslighting.
Well, good luck because
a chocolate daddy gaslighting a yeet.
that's definitely not a thing.
Oh my god,
that's an interesting sentence. Moving on. So, Jamie, least favorite character, if you have one?
I wouldn't say I had a favorite character.
Okay.
But I'd say Peyton was probably my least favorite. And I mean, honestly, Ashley, I agree with you. Dennis Quaid's just okay.
Yeah, that's my thing. It's not like I hate him or anything, but it's just like he's not anything.
He's just
special.
average.
Yeah.
Legion is the movie with Paul Bettany and Dennis Quaid was in it. That's what I was thinking, not Priest.
Is that the one with the scary old lady?
Yes. I love that fucking movie.
Dennis Quaid. Oh yeah, he was like in the diner or whatever, right? He was one of the
horror fantasy.
Yeah. Paul Bettany was also in Priest, though.
I know.
Yeah.
I know.
Paul Bettany's a damn good actor. Anyway, Brian.
Also, that Nadia girl, like, she talks so soft. Like, she whispered, and I barely could even understand what she was saying.
Right. Okay.
I didn't like that. Yeah.
Brian, what about you?
If I had to choose, I think Bauer would be my favorite just because, I mean, this whole story kind of followed him the most. Mm-hmm. Least favorite, I mean, I don't really have a least favorite. I don't know. Leland, probably.
Yeah, I really didn't like Leland. I mean, Bauer, just because Ben Foster's a great actor. I've seen quite a few of his movies, so I thought that was good.
Dennis Quaid was in Flight of the Phoenix.
Oh, that's such a good movie.
Such a horrible movie, also.
What? You didn't like it?
As someone who works on an airplane, you cannot fix a fucking airplane in the middle of the desert.
Okay.
How they did.
Okay, I will admit, I haven't seen it since before I started working in aviation maintenance. But still, it was a good movie.
No, it was a good movie. Also, Vantage Point, which is a really good movie.
That's a damn good movie. So.
And he was in Any Given Sunday. I'm sorry.
No, you're good. You're good.
I'm just trying to find something that I think Ashley would like that he was in.
Trying to pull up a note real quick.
I already told you.
Outside of Parent Trap. Oh, he was in Traffic. I don't know if anybody's seen that. That was a good movie.
Saw part of it, never finished it. I was too young to, I think, really appreciate it. So anyway, yeah, this movie came out in 2009, had a budget of $33 million. Box office was only $20 million, so it bombed. Didn't do that well. I think...
Say that again, the budget was what?
Budget was $33 million.
And it made...
just over $20 million.
Yeah, that's bad.
That's pretty bad. Wasn't well received. And I think it's just... If I had to pick probably the least popular subgenre in horror, I'd say sci-fi probably is. Even though I could name, a couple sci-fi films that were good that I enjoyed, like Event Horizon would definitely be one.
Alien is a big sci-fi horror.
Definitely. I mean, there's I can't even tell you how many of those there are now. So
it's a lot.
Yeah, and Predator, the Predator movies, I think would be considered sci-fi horror. Well, maybe not horror, sci-fi action. So
I don't know what they would label that as. Let me look it up.
But
Alien vs Predator.
Maybe sci-fi horror. Could be wrong.
Sci-fi action. Yeah, sci-fi action.
Okay.
I kind of feel like this was sci-fi action and not really sci-fi horror, but...
That's what I was going to say, too.
Yeah, I mean, it's listed as... Pandorum is a German-British science fiction horror film with elements of survival adventure. So...
I mean, but what makes it horror? The creatures?
I think what I liked about this movie was it focused, it gave an emphasis on two elements that grip a person with fear, isolation and the unknown, especially not knowing oneself. It's I think those are elements that could be used to make a good horror film, but yeah, I'd say maybe just the film was very dark. It was kind of like Bodies, where everything was black. It was all dark around the ship, so with moments of light when the power fluctuated, but yeah, I'd say it was. I mean, I wouldn't object to it being labeled sci-fi action. So, how about you? You think the subgenre of sci-fi horror is correct for this?
I can see that, and that's kind of the point I was going to make with my my fear factor thing. Is really it's the isolation, and then it's waking up from this sleep that you've been in and not even knowing where you are, where you're supposed to be going, what you were doing, and all that kind of stuff. Obviously, the fear of the unknown is a real fear that a lot of people have. So, it kind of makes you think about that deeper and kind of feel those things outside of the movie. So I think it's accurate.
I'm glad you said fear factor because my notes for some reason just went to shit. I forgot that I gave that to you. So what is your fear factor? Like 1 to 10, 1 being fell asleep, 10 being holy shit, I don't want to watch this ever again. It's too scary.
So, and I know some people will probably say like that the creatures were like scary or whatever. It's not really that aspect for me. It's more of the psychological stuff that is scary. So, I mean, I don't think it was too scary for me not to watch it again, and I feel like that's saying something because I'm a big fucking baby. So I'd probably go right about in the middle at like a 5 because it really does make you think more deeply about the unknown. And then obviously we see them stuck on this ship with, about to be murdered at any turn. So, it's just a lot of that stuff that makes you think and can mess with you mentally.
Okay. What about you, Jamie?
Yeah, I mean, I would say the same as Ashley if we're talking about from a psychological standpoint, because I obviously wouldn't want to be in that situation. I mean, I don't think it's scary, like, like a scary movie, but psychologically, definitely.
Right. Brian?
The only part of this movie that was scary is when they were at the bottom of the fucking ocean. That would have been like the scariest thing to me.
Why, you don't like being underwater?
At the bottom of the ocean is a little bit different than being underwater to me.
No, but I think you have like a fear of water, right?
Yeah, ever since you
oh my
and
God.
my sister and my daughter was fucking on a little ass what was it?
We were on
fucking blow up
a tube, and we were out in the lake, and then all of a sudden we were like very far out in the lake, and like nobody realized how it happened that fast
because the current was pushing you out,
and so we were like the water, it was like past the pier where the water had dropped off, and the only person, I mean, I know how to swim, but like I wasn't confident enough to swim all the way back, pulling both of them on the thing.
I know how to swim also, but I wasn't expecting the fucking drop off that happened when it did. So I went under and water just filled up. Like, damn. I couldn't breathe and I was too far out. Freaked me the fuck out.
Yeah. I mean, plus you said that you've had a lot of like nightmares where you're like in the middle of
wake up in the
ocean and shit, and like, yeah.
Because I'm just drowning in bullshit in real life.
It's manifesting in your dreams.
I mean, dreams are metaphors for real life.
Yeah.
Yeah. I would say there's some truth there.
That's one thing that Freddy Krueger taught me. But no, like I know how to swim and stuff. Like I was pretty sure my dad pushed me in a pool when I was a kid. He said, float.
Sink or swim, bro.
No, he probably didn't do that way. Maybe not all the way, but yeah. Like I've been in the water since I was a kid. I know how to swim, but that experience with y'all scared the fuck out of me.
That's valid.
All right, so film ratings. So scale 1 to 10.
I think I'm going to go with my safe answer and give it a 7. It was something I enjoyed. It was a little creepy. Like I said, it makes you think deeper. But the biggest thing is that I would probably watch it again at some point.
What about you, Jamie?
Well, I hate to rate it so low because, this is not a movie I would normally watch. Like I said, this was like sci-fi action. I didn't feel the horror element of it. At times it was a little hard to follow, kind of confusing to me. I would say 3 out of 10 just because, like I said, it's not a movie I would watch.
Okay. And what about you, Brian?
I give it a 6. It was entertaining. Like I said, I've seen it before already. Not something I'll like throw on if I'm looking for something to watch. It's not the first thing I would throw on, but Like if I can't find anything and just want to put something on, I wouldn't have a problem watching it again. I did like it, but it's not like I have to watch it.
So it's something you'd never like go out of your way to watch again. You'd say just if it was on and there was nothing to watch or nothing to listen to, you know.
Yeah.
Okay.
Or like, you know, if I was scrolling through channels and it was on or something, I might stop watching for a little bit.
Okay.
Depending on what part it was like, because there were some really good parts. So.
Such as.
I liked the chasing scenes, like where the creatures were chasing them, and the one scene where Ben Foster, like he was hooked up to a line or something, and he had fell over I don't know what it was. He was running and he like tripped and his ankle had got caught up in a line, and he like flew all the way to the bottom and he was hanging on.
I got you now. Yeah.
Yeah. Like there were some intense moments, I think. But like all the little action, the little fighting stuff, I liked it.
All right. And you said a 7 or 6? What'd you say?
I think I said 6.
I think
or did I say 7?
you might have said 7. Okay. Either way.
6.5.
Okay, 6. Perfect.
Let's go 6.5.
All right. So for me, I've seen this movie, like I said, 80 times. It's a comfort movie, but believe it or not, I would probably give it a 6. I mean, it is.
Really?
Yeah, it is good, but it's obvious. I think Jamie said it. You know, it's not really horror in my opinion, even though it is listed as that. I mean, I would call it more sci-fi action. But you know, I enjoyed the performances. I thought it was an interesting plot, and you know, so I really enjoyed that. So I'd give it a 6.
Okay.
All right. Anybody have any final thoughts?
I think I just kind of gave my.
I don't have anything else now.
Jamie, what about you?
No, I don't have anything.
All right. Well, if that is it, that is the end of this episode. Don't forget to like and subscribe. If you're following us on YouTube, please hit that notification bell. And you can follow us on Instagram at the Killer Point of View Podcast, which is where you'll find all of our Linktree information, all our other sites, you know, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, and so forth. And just remember that there is a thin line between true horror and true crime. Good night.